everybody, welcome back to another stream. It's been a little while, had some computer issues and some flooding going on, so it's been a little while. So welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking the Cessna 414 out and be going on over to Nashville today, and taking a peek around there. We'll be flying VFR today. I'm actually doing this flight in real life on Wednesday, so thought we'd just have a little bit of fun and go ahead and do that. So got the engines already started and got everything ready to rock and roll, and so we're gonna get rolling here. We are going to be using pilot to ATC today. See how well that goes. We're just doing VFR for right now. So that's going to be the plan. So welcome aboard. So we've got everything already started and got our lights on. So now we just need to get the weather here in Springfield. And so luckily I know that off the top of my head. 135.125. So we'll grab the ATIS. And why don't we hear any ATIS? Having trouble with it the other day as well. I couldn't hear anything, couldn't do anything, but not exactly sure what the issue is.
Weather is not currently available for Sumner's Aurora Municipal. Arriving and departing runway 18.
Let's try, instead of sim weather, let's try and do some, go down here, let's grab the tablet. Let's check. Got plenty of fuel, so let's check on the weather here. So
weather is not currently available for Sumner's Aurora Municipal. Arriving and departing runway 18.
Alright, so that's cool. So it looks like 3010 winds
Springfield, Branson, NATL information Yankee. 152 Zulu winds are light and variable. Visibility 10 miles. Skies clear. Temperature 2.2. Current altimeter is 3011. Arriving and departing runway 14.
So let's go ahead and go on over to ground.
Springfield, Branson, NATL information Yankee. 152 Zulu winds are light and variable.
So we'll transfer over to ground.
Ground, good morning, American 2095, coming out spot 2, good information, whiskey. Is this spot 2? 2095, American.
American 452, France, push approved, keep it on the west side of the alley, advise ready attack. Selector.
Push approved, stay on the west side, American.
That is available on our GitHub as well, so head on over to GitHub and grab that. So I'm going to actually turn down the volume.
Turn 4719, straight taxi.
Chatter.
4719, right turn Juliet, spot 2, ground point 9, good day.
Turn Juliet, spot 2 and ground point 9, good day, Richard 4719.
Spot 6054, spot 12, X-ray.
American 1330, ground 27 left, taxi via Foxtrot,
go ahead and call them up.
Right.
And Springfield ground, Chancellor November 23 Delta Tango, ready to taxi.
Foxtrot.
Chancellor 3 Delta Tango taxi to runway 14 via taxiways Delta, Alpha, Charlie, hold short runway 20 and runway 14.
Chancellor 23 Delta Tango taxi via Delta, Alpha, Charlie, and hold short runway 20. Alright, so
Chancellor 3 Delta Tango taxi to 14.
and we'll taxi to 14 for 23 Delta Tango. Turn the parking brake off.
T-minus 6054, spot 12, X-ray.
6054,
Go ahead.
ground 27 left.
Do a flash of the taxi light.
6054?
And we'll run over this dude real quick. Since he's in the
Give me
way.
1 second to find paperwork.
Thanks, buddy.
T-minus
Shit.
6054, do you have your clearance for the squawk code of 2726?
The squawk of 1152, T-minus 6054.
Okay, 6054. When you have room behind the American Air, 27 left taxi, Echo 5 Echo, hold short of 27 right.
Okay, 27 left, Echo 5, Echo, hold short 27 right, T-minus 6054.
And in just a second, I'll read you your clearance just to make sure it matches up with what we have.
And we'll go ahead and turn our transponder to altitude reporting. Go back.
Brand breaker, 4887 push, Bravo 3.
Breaker 4719, ground 27 left taxi, Juliet Yankee Sierra.
27 left, Juliet, Yankee Sierra, brickyard 479.
Forgot to set this up in the GTM, so KSGF. We're just going direct today, so
About 6175, ground
Shouldn't be too big of a deal.
27 left taxi.
Set up.
Foxtrot, hold short of 27 right.
KBNA.
Alright, 27 left, via Foxtrot, short 27 right, T-minus 6175.
There we go. Fly direct and
American 1313, cross 27 right. And taxi via Papa 2, towers 885.
Cross 27 right, Papa 2, towers 5, American, 1430.
P-minus 6054, cross 27 right, turn right on Sierra, towers 185.
Cross 27 right, right on Sierra, tower 185, T-minus 6054.
and we just had a crash to desktop. Cool. Gotta love that. Gotta love that when you're streaming. I don't know about you guys, but the new Sim Update 10 has just been... I did the beta and I had no problems with that, but it's been nothing but trouble since they've actually fully released it. So I am running DX11, so I don't know if that's the issue or not. I have no idea. So we'll see if we can't start her back up, and we'll say screw ATC. How you guys like that? Yeah, I agree. Let's just get rid of that. Just get going here. Apologize for the technical difficulties. I usually like to use VATSIM or something of that nature, online flying for all of that, but as usual, my area. Oh, it looks like we do have Kansas City Center, and we've got Nashville all on. Maybe try. Oh, we just have. Oh yeah, Kansas City Center is working, so. Which is cool, but. We'll just stick to. So I do have MSFS pop-out manager. See if that's a run. All these panels popped out real quick, and then we'll get her going. All right. Up here and turn the lights on. I do have 350-inch 4K monitors, so I have a 180-degree view all the way around me, which is very, very cool, very immersive. So that turned off, and we'll go ahead and get her going and get her started. So go master on, and make sure parking brake is set, landing gear is down, and anti-collision lights on, nav lights on. And we'll leave our taxi lights off. And let's go ahead and pull up the iPad real quick, make sure that we got enough fuel. Which we should, but I never want to get somewhere and run out of fuel, that's for sure. So, got that all set. So we'll go ahead and turn our fuel pump, our fuels on. Turn our left fuel pump on. Bags on. And clear prop, which we would yell outside, but we'll go ahead and just act like we yelled. So mixture's full rich, and there we go. We got some contact. Didn't want to work, so got fuel on. Got that on. Or if it was the crashing that has messed it up. Fuel's on. We don't have any like chocks or anything or stuff in, do we? No, all that stuff is good. Got plenty of battery to start it. Prime it, which you only prime it usually in the winter, but there we go. Mixtures were rich on my honeycomb, but they weren't in the virtual cockpit. So alright, so left engine's good. It's coming up to RPM. Let's idle at 1,000. There we go. Right engine's good. Left engine's temperatures are good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start the right engine now. Fuel pump is on. And we'll go ahead and hit the starter. Alright. And right engine's good. And stabilized at about 100. Or 1,000 RPMs. Alright, avionics on. And we'll turn that back up to 11,500. We'll fluctuate with that. And we'll go ahead and set our pressurization. We'll set that to, set it up to 12,000. Felt that good. Go ahead and hit our flight plan. Let's go ahead and get that all set up since we forgot to last time. KSGF. What we're starting at. Destination is going to be KBNA. Nashville International. That's all set up, and go ahead and hit traffic on this one, and we'll just call that good for now. So we'll go ahead and get the flash of the taxi lights. Normally they will move out of the way, but they're not wanting to, so we'll just go ahead and taxi on out. We're just gonna go off a runway 20 over here real quick just to get out of here and get going, since we're a little behind schedule here. Map, and we'll change our CDI to GPS. get our altimeter set 3010. And clear left, clear right. So appreciate you guys' patience tonight. We'll go ahead and get our heading set to 020, which is going to be runway heading. Or 220, sorry. And we'll go ahead and set the parking brake. And we'll go ahead and do our max checks. So normally you'd run it up to about 2,000, 2,300 RPMs. You do your de-ice boots, check to see if those are working, but we won't do that. But we'll go ahead and do the governor check. So pull it up to 2,000 RPMs, pull the manifold back just a little bit. Back to about 20. We'll give it a little bit of manifold pressure to make sure it recovers. As it does, so we'll go props full forward. Pull it back down to about 1,900 RPMs. And we'll do our mag check. Mag, good. Right mag. A little bit of a drop. Back to both. And we'll go ahead and feather it. Check for an RPM drop and it recovers. Look at the left side. No oil coming out of the top. Look at the right side. No oil coming out of the top. And make sure she goes back to idle. Alright, everything checks out, so we'll go ahead and flip the landing light on. We don't need any kind of de-ice boots or anything like that today, so we'll go ahead and go on out here and take the runway. Excuse me. Vinyl looks clear out there to the right. Looking down the runway looks good. Lined up a center line, we're good. So we'll go ahead and hold the brakes. 2,000 RPM. Oil pressure's good, oil temperature's good, both sides, left and right. And we'll slowly advance left going out to full. And airspeed's alive. Rotate about 95. There's 90, and there's 95. positive rate, no runway remaining, indicating gear up. Gears coming up. Gears up and locked. Maintain runway heading for now. Start our left turn out. Climbing out about 103, 115. And we're about 1,000 feet above the ground, so we'll go ahead and slowly pull back. About 38 inches of manifold pressure. Back to about 2,600 RPM. And we'll turn yaw dampener on, flight director's on, and we'll turn on autopilot, and we'll hit the nav mode, and we'll climb in vertical speed of 1,200 feet per minute. And we'll let the autopilot do its thing. Hey, welcome aboard. Vroom vroom, that's right. Go Tick Go. Thank you, Todd. What's going on, Jason? Are you guys around for the crash to desktop? It's always a fun one. Burning about 60 aside, 30 aside, 60 total gallons an hour. And we'll go ahead and just fly direct, so we'll hit direct. And oh well. Don't see anybody in the traffic. And so we can go ahead and turn landing light off and retract it, taxi light off. Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys didn't have to witness the crash to desktop afterwards. But it was running fine, and then all of a sudden, whenever they released the update, the sim update, I was in the beta, and so I didn't get a chance to leave it beforehand. So it basically deleted my entire Microsoft Flight Simulator out of it completely deleted it, and so I had to re-download the entire Microsoft Flight Simulator and do it all again. And since then, it seems like I've had more problems than before. So I'm running the Game Ready driver, the latest from NVIDIA, and DX11. So that's what we got. So. Outside view, yeah. Take a peek down there. It's the town I live in. It's the rock quarry. That's the down. So right below us, kind of see we're flying right over it. It's back a little bit, but it's where I did my flight training for my instrument. So. Like the narrative of the speeds, yeah, it's something as I'm still doing my flight training that I call out those things, so that way if I say something and I'm not supposed to be doing something, that just an easy reminder for myself. It's usually why whenever I fly with my boss and my passengers, I usually will turn. Let's see, let me turn this down just a little bit. When I fly with my boss and my passengers, usually I put my microphone where they can hear them back there, but they can't hear me. So that way and still do all my talk throughs, and then once we get up to cruise, then I'll talk to them and everything else. But alright, so we're coming through 7,500. Cabin pressure is it's the PSI differential starting to climb, which is good. So we're climbing up to, we got 12,500, which is 1,000 feet over what we were expecting. And our current cabin altitude is recognizing about 1,200 feet, which is about sea level for this. So, hey, what's going on, Rob? So this is a mix of panels that we have built at SIMSTRUMENTATION and Ralph from Sim Innovations for Air Manager that you can get in the store. It's a kind of a mixture of those. The pressurization that you see in the top left, well, the top left screen, the pressurization, we built that. Basically everything on the left screen, top left, we built. The only thing it's really that they have is the fuel computer, the airspeed's theirs, and the fuel computer, and then the engine instruments and the fuel quantity. The EGT, they have one, but we built one as well, so I'm using the one that we built for right now. So, but just climbing away. Peek out the side. Don't see any traffic. I'm shocked Jason isn't upset with me because I'm not using any kind of real ATC or any ATC at all. Out of curiosity, check the cabin temperature. Yeah, the cabin temperature right now says it's 0, Todd. So I don't know. It's saying alarm. The alarm's going off, but I can check let's check the iPad and see what it's saying. So we have a little bit of time, got a little bit left, and then we'll be at cruise. But let's see, I think it's nope, not that one. Oh, here we go. Cabin temperature says it's about 80 degrees in here, so it's 1,000 to go. Cabin temperature slowly cooling down. Let's turn on the air conditioning on low. Oh, cool. Cool. All right, there we go. We're leveling out at 35 or 11,500 feet. Go ahead and pull her back to about 35 inches of manifold pressure. And we'll pull it back to about 2550 on the RPMs. And we can go ahead and pull back the mixture. Be able to get 20 a side burn, 40 gallons an hour, but I don't know if she's gonna make it. Check. So cylinder head temperatures are about 350. It's about where you want them. Wouldn't go much hotter. About so I'll give you a phone number to call when you land. Yeah, perfect. Mine says what? Yeah. What's going on, Crispy TV? Yeah, I know that you're yelling at me. I can do my call outs if you want me to, Jason, just to make you feel a little bit better. So it looks like we're getting about 201 true right now. Which I believe that's what this thing, the book says that this thing will do, but getting a 443 knot tailwind, so our ground speed's about 226 knots. So let's go ahead and get our VNAV set up so we know when we're going to descend. Utilities, VNAV, and this is how I do it in the real world. So we're going to do 4 nautical miles. Our target altitude is going to be pattern altitude, which is going to be 1600 in Nashville. Just I know that just because I've flown in there so many freaking different times. And we're going to do KBNA. And so we want to display a message. So we're to maintain a 500 feet per minute. In a piston engine, you can't go down like you can in a turboprop because you can shock cool the engines. So we're going to go down at 500 feet per minute. That'll basically give us a little bit of time to be able to go down at a cruise speed and go down a little bit faster, but still working the engines a little bit to make sure that we don't shock cool them. So you could technically, if you in an emergency, if you needed to, go down at 1,000 feet, but you know we don't have any kind of emergencies or anything like that that we need to worry about. Then there's no point in doing it. So we've got that set up. It'll give us a message for that. We can go through and run through our cruise checklist. Power set, lights are off, pressurization check, we're good there. Traffic, there's no traffic. Temperatures look good. We're hovering about 350. Cylinder head temperature, CHT. EGT, we're about 100 degrees rich of peak, which is good. Oil temperature's good. Oil pressure's good. We got plenty of fuel. We got about 3 hours and 4 minutes, burning about 40 gallons an hour. 25, 50, and 35. Yeah, that's what I'm running. Yeah, 500 feet per minute's a pretty standard rate for a twin piston engine, such as a Cessna. You can, like I said, the thing that when you do it in real life, we usually try to fly VFR 90% of the time as much as we can, because when you fly IFR in a piston twin, you're up here with some of the bigger boys, but they try to hold you at that altitude too long, and then they want you to descend at like 1,000 to 1,500 feet per minute like the jets do. But we just can't. You can't do that in a piston engine because it's just going to shock cool them, or you have to really baby them, and it messes up a lot of flow. So we're out of balloons and flow back here. Descend at 1,800 feet per minute. I don't know if it recognizes. What to do if you know the pressurization. I know in X-plane, if the pressurization's not set correctly, that you'll just basically like it passes out, but you'll just go to a black screen. So I don't know what it does. You'll be happy with what I made, my dude. Posting it up on Discord, private chat in a couple seconds. All right, perfect. I'll take it and I'll throw it up here. Auto. We will take it and. Had it. All right, cow flaps. Oh yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. It's exactly what we were needing. These cow flaps should be closed at this point. Create, edit, import. Cow flaps. Now, where am I going to put them? I know where I can put them. We're going to put them on this panel. See them cow flaps. So did you design them yourself, Joe? Oh, they look pretty. Very nice. All right. Go ahead and push those suckers in. See if they worked. Cow flaps in, cow flaps open. Look at that, Joe. Man, Joe, you a sexy dude. You a sexy dude. Nice. They look good, man. They look very good. Did a good job. I did see the animation. The animation looks good. like the little pull out and push in. That's pretty sweet, dude. I don't know how you animated that, but that looks really good. Here, tell you what we'll do. Let everybody see it. How about that, Joe? Whoops, not that one. All right, you guys ready for the animation? Boom, look at that. Boom. Careful, he might get more sexy. I don't know, Joe's one sexy dude. Shadows animate with the lever as well. I didn't see that. Let's check that out. They do animate with it. Nice, Joe. Man, you really outdid yourself. I don't even know why you guys keep me around. You're doing all that by yourself. Yeah, then the 414 is pretty sweet. It's a lot of fun. This should be on Twitch. Yeah, I've never tried Twitch. My boss became famous from YouTube, so I just went to YouTube. Maybe what we'll do when we get close to Nashville, we'll go ahead and cut an engine. We'll fly the approach. We'll fly visually, but we'll fly it with just a single engine. Bonanza Twitch switch panel. Repurposed graphics. Oh, nice. Well, whoever did the graphics originally did a pretty good job. Check on our vertical navigation. So it looks like we need to descend about 50 minutes. Zoom out. How's the panels and everything look? Thanks. We built that lever originally. We did the Bonanza panel way back. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It looks great. Looks great. We were needing some cow flaps. But yeah, it's. I wish I could figure out where my panels would match, because I have a background for it, but I'll have to just do the instrument, like you were saying, Joe, and add them as an instrument instead of a background. So yeah, we got prop sync on, that we can sync up the props. We're gonna have to do that. Prop sync seems to be working pretty good. Yep, lights are on. Light is indicating on mine. temperature gauge, I don't think is working on my panel, because it says that it is 0 degrees. It says it's about, should be about 35 degrees. Looks like it's about, yeah, it might be working. Cow flaps add drag? They should. In real life, I don't know about in here. Let's open them both up, and we'll pay attention to our true airspeed, because that'll tell me. It did slow us down to about 200 true airspeed. Now let's push them in and see if it picks it back up. So now they're pushed in. Back to 201. So yeah, I guess they do add a little bit of drag. They should. They wouldn't. They would in real life. Let's put it that way. You know they should. Yeah, well, you have to ask that question in Microsoft Flight Simulator, because I don't know if Asobo knows that it should or not. I wish there was a better way to be able to show, because that's what it looks like on my left screen. And that's what it looks like on my right screen. I wish there was a better way to be able to show all the 365 degree or 180 degree view that I have. Turn the transponder on. Uh-oh. Jason would have a fit. Yes, the 414 is pressurized, Jason. Ground speed's about 225 knots. Actually, probably more FSW than Asobo's. The control stuff is in FSS camp as well. Oh, gotcha. Well, let's check the cabin temperature, because the cabin temperature gauge that you gave us, Todd, isn't working, but let's check what it says inside the... I have the air conditioner turned on. So let's check what the iPad says as far as the cabin temp. Oh yeah, she's working great. It's 50 degrees in here. So let's turn that off. Turn the blower off, and then we'll just turn the blower off and see what happens. My boss is cold-blooded, so he'd be... Yeah, no, it doesn't work. Here, I'll show you. Blow it up. See my cabin temperature. It says 0 degrees and it says alarm. I don't know why. But I might not have the latest one that you gave me, Todd, but I think I do. Thought I downloaded it. Scrolling back up for the... last cabin temperature gauge that you gave me? Because I know you gave us a couple of them. AC off and see if it changed. Okay. AC's off right now. The blower's off as well. So let me go back to cabin temperature. Still hasn't changed. It's not worked since I turned it on. But see if the cabin. Yeah, see the cabin's slowly rising to about 60 degrees, 55 degrees ish. The temperature gauge on my panel does not show that. How's the audio levels? Can you guys hear me okay? Is the sound getting drowned out by the airplane? Enable the target temp user prop. Where do I enable that on the instrument that you gave us? Back to the instrument that you gave me. Go to the user properties or the cabin temperature. Show target temp. Good sound balance. Okay, good. Yeah, it's still on my. Yeah, I went to the air manager and turned on that, but it's still saying 0 on the cabin temp. This is what you're talking about, right? This back out of the way. I don't know if you guys can see that or, well, I don't know if you got, here, I'll pull it back up. So it says right here, show target temp, question mark, display final temperature target in Fahrenheit from the sim. And it's checked, but it's still not showing it. Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think it says test mode. Maybe package the one that you have up and send it to me and I'll try it. If yours is working. There's no user. Yeah, it still says 0 degrees Fahrenheit, but whenever I flip it to Celsius, it says negative 18.2. Restart the panel. Love it. Let's try it. Alright, so in the top left I do see a little bit, but it says 0 degrees. Alright, Rob. So here, is that what you're talking about? Right here, the little temperature in the top left, it says 0.0 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not. Check out our VDAV. So we'll get about 40 minutes. They fixed it in the new version. Yeah, I don't know what version. I don't know which one I have. I know that they had like a couple of them that came out the last couple days. I can't remember if I upgraded it or not. I know I did before the simulator was gone, but or rather broken. That could be possible too. You're on the marketplace version. Yeah, I'm on the version that they have. Hey, good night, buddy. Night, Jason. Yeah, I'm on the version that whatever that they released. So, because I got mine through the actual website, I didn't get it mine through the marketplace. So that could be the issue. Everything else looks really good though, man. You guys did a really good job. You guys made my work look really good, that's for sure. That stinks that my ops meter had to restart. Thank you. I try. I think I would, now that I've got the panels kind of up, I think I need to readjust maybe some of the autopilot, because it looks a little bit too, like, I don't know, it looks like it has like a bluish tint to it. Thanks, Todd, I appreciate it. Gotta find some way to contribute to some of this stuff, so does your guys' manifold gauge, does it have like the little outline on it? Like, here, I'll show you. So I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like a little square box around mine. I don't know if that you guys can see that or not, but love your layout, dude. Is that your trim? I need to put a trim wheel in here. That's a good idea there, Crunch. I need to put a trim wheel in here somewhere on one of these panels, just so I can see where it's at for takeoff and stuff. Which trim wheel are you using, Joe? Oh yeah, I'll zoom in on it here in just a second. Adding a trim wheel real quick. Alright, let's go. Alright, so here, we'll zoom in back in on it again. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's like a little square, like, transparent, that looks like a little indention on the manifold gauge. Is it that way for you guys on yours as well? Oh, okay, cool. Do you need graphics for it? I'd like to do that, and I'd also like to make a proper flap gauge. But I'd like to make a proper flap gauge, and I'd like to get a with a black PG at the moment, so I don't see anything. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I like being able to see the fuel computer. I know it's not right inside the sim, but that's what we basically use off of in real life is our, you know, fuel flow. Yeah, I'll see if I can't work on that maybe tomorrow, get the flap lever done. I got a screenshot of it, so that way we can build that tomorrow. Computer the full, but the main function of it is there. That's what matters. Yeah, no, you know, that's to me, that's all I really cared about. The fuel computer was just more or less just seeing, you know, how many hours you have remaining and how much fuel you're burning per hour, because that's basically what you should be running as far as temperatures and stuff like that. If you know, run it by the book and run it how it's supposed to be ran, it should be ridiculously easy to make it program. Yeah, that's okay. You guys want to do those? Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. AP auto pilot and all that stuff. You can make those indicators and then make them light up. Screenshot of those. Yeah, it does. I agree, Crunch. I think your altitude, the digital altitude selector is just spot on, man. Did a good job with the graphics there. I'd also like to take the suction gauges that I have and get rid of those gray backgrounds, which I could probably do tomorrow. Should be pretty simple to do. Yeah, that's, I mean, literally that's all I was self-taught. I didn't take any computer classes for Photoshop. It was literally just get in there and start building it. And it's, you know, mess around with what does this tool do? What does that tool do? And that's how I started learning how to use Illustrator. Fuel maybe part to the tool. Yeah, that'd be cool. To add how much fuel you have left. Be able to, you know, take one of those switches and be able to push a button that would change over to, you know, gallons remaining, rather than just time remaining. I believe that this 414 only has 2 sets of tanks. It doesn't have the twin engine that we've been flying has outer tanks and then inner tanks. So you have to pay attention because you got about 3 hours on the outers and you got about 2 hours on the inner tanks. Yeah, it's a lot of fun streaming on YouTube. Still working on the gauges. You have the 3 alpha dev version currently. Too much of a rush to fix them up. Okay. Which gauges are you talking about? I haven't really seen anything that I need to go back and touch up with some of your stuff. Yeah, I like the 414 better than the 310 as well. I like the pressurization. That's the big kicker for me. Plus, I think it's a little faster. Oh, all the ones we made. I need to get my camera set back up so you guys can see the panels and see them in action. But man, having the Joe, when you get in your other TVs, man, you need a 180-degree view. It's so awesome, so realistic. Be able to turn your head and look outside and look around. Yeah, you were all about that 310 back when Bobby and you guys were making all those instruments for it. You guys were head over heels for that 310 back in my American Airlines flying days. Hey, let's check out the fuel planing. Have you guys messed with the fuel planing inside of? So fuel required 2 KBNA is about 30 gallons. Fuel should have about 70.9 gallons of fuel. It's pretty cool. I don't know how accurate it is, but we'll see. Oh, he's waiting on the 4090. Just have a uniform bezel design. There's currently a mix of bezel looks. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the 2 that I made are completely different. The manifold and the RPM. I can fix that though. Do you guys like the look of the RPM bezel, or do you like the look of the manifold bezel? It sinks too much. Yeah, on the 310. Yeah, I didn't buy the 310. I just flew the active version, I guess you'd call it, for a little while. It was good. I mean, it's very similar to a 414, just not pressurized. I'm sure that I don't know what the performance numbers are as far as true airspeed or anything like that, but I do love having the PMS. I'm very, very pleased that I did get the PMS version rather than just the TDS version. Did you guys also put in your checklist? So I added the checklist. They have it on there for the 414. You can literally go through the checklist and have it on here, which is pretty cool. You can go in there and you can get the menu. You can go to before starting engines. You can scroll down here to, okay, now we need to do cruise checklist. So power set. Then you can hit mixtures, lean. Propellers are synchronized. Pressurization is set. So that's pretty cool. You don't care which one the just as long as they match. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that the RPM gauge looks a little more realistic. I think it needs to be a little darker, but I think it's a little thinner. I think the manifold gauge, I made it a little bit too thick. If you guys know of any other special visuals you guys want added, let me know. I can definitely add those in there. The RPM gauge turned out really well. You did a great job on that crunch, on placing all the synchronization and all that stuff together. Looks really good. Actually make it a little bit bigger on my screen. My Hobbs meter reset whenever I had to redo the install of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I'm only at 0.9 hours now. I had 5 in it earlier before it reset. Yeah, it looks really good. Only other thing I would like to see, I'd like to add, is the landing gear. I'd like to have the actual lights, maybe make something like this for it. I'd like to be able to do that. That would be pretty cool to be able to have. So the pressurization differential and all that stuff is very spot on. Did a good job on that as well. Yeah, definitely randomized screw orientation and stuff like that. I need to do a better job on the screws that I did make. Those didn't turn out as well as I was hoping. But I need to create some more of those. All the way up front. Yeah, does the outside air temperature gauge that you guys have, does it work? Are you guys using the 402 as well? It probably does work. It's just the one that's inside the cockpit is reading about the same as what this one does, and I thought what I had was working, so. I think we can make a better airspeed, be able to put the true, you guys think we could get that true airspeed? These little there as well. I think we could do a better job on the airspeed that they made. I mean, it still works, but the suction gauge works good. Did pick this livery out today. It reminds me a little bit of that blue one that gray and blue one that you used to have for the CJ4 Crunch. Look how flat that land is. I believe that might be the Mississippi River. I think. Let's take a look. Yep. That would be her. The Chancellor, I like it as well. Even though the 421 that my boss is looking at getting is called the Golden Eagle, which is pretty cool. But Chancellor is pretty good too. Yeah, I agree. I wish that there was a dynamic tail number on it to where you could put whatever tail number you wanted instead of making an actual tail number, you know, static to where it's the same one. I think tomorrow I'm going to make a little nameplate tag for my November 23 Delta Tango as well. Yeah, I have my switch panel on my iPad mini with the parking brake and all that stuff. It's small, but it still works. I can still see it. I'll show you kind of what the layout that I'm talking about that I have. Send you guys a picture real quick. That's my, so I put it in dev, the dev channel. That's what mine looks like. The cowl flaps and the fuel things are a little small, but everything else is, I can read everything. It seems to be pretty good. Did you have that ATC interaction on like live online, or did you have it on like pilot to ATC? those. Oh. Todd, do you have one of those rumble shaker butt kicker things? Oh, yeah, well that was your problem. You went to MSFS, ATC. Let's go to utilities, let's go to VNAV. Got about 13 minutes and we'll start heading down. Let's see what the fuel planning still says, see if it's still accurate. Gotcha. Yeah, I have the butt kicker gamer too. It's been really pleased with it. And then use the sim shaker for aviators and the Andre's sound module. Class A, which you have to be on IFR, which I'll have to get a few of them for our new sectional couch that's coming this week. You're putting them in your couch for like surround sound, like movies. Set our the altitude selector down to about, go down to 2,000 feet. Gonna bring up our checklist. The next checklist, so pressurization, so we'll want field elevation, which is 600, so we'll set it to about 1,000. Level pressurization check, fuel selectors were on the main tanks, mixtures set to 1350 degrees EGT minimum. Okay, mixtures, we'll worry about that later. Altimeters, and let's go ahead and I forgot we can go in here, go to flight plan. Let's go to waypoint info. And let's go to weather. It's getting the data. ISO is 3006, so we'll go ahead and change to 3006. And the winds are north-northwest at 330 at 5 knots. And if I remember right, they have 2.6 that we'll probably take. Hey, good night, buddy. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. Let's go to KBNA. Let's go to procedures. So they've got ILS. Yeah, they've got 2. They've got 2.0. So waypoint info. That 334, so yeah, we'll use 2 center. Plan on setting up for that. And we've got the weather there, so we're all good for descent. Altimeters are set. No, we're not gonna have an approach. Set minimums for that. We're good. There. About 7.5 minutes. So we'll see how it reacts, Todd, in the real world. As you go lower, you don't have to increase mixture, because as you go lower, you pull the throttle, the manifold pressure, because the manifold pressure will slowly creep up. So we'll see how well that simulated in the 414. Supposed to do. ILS frequency is going to be 110.75. Yes, I did the climate. I'm sorry, yes, I did climate 38 inches manifold pressure, and then I did 26 RPMs. So 38 and 26, and then 35 and 24, 2550 on cruise. just off our nose is Kentucky Lake. Oh, you're asking? Yes. So on in the real world, when you get about 1,000 feet above the ground on takeoff, you'll pull your manifold pressure back to just off of red line, which in this one is, I just went ahead and did 38. You can do 38 or 39 inches of manifold pressure, and then just pull the RPMs back off of the red line as well, so it'd be 26, and then when you get up to cruise, I just pull it back to where they're both in the green arc. So 35 is the max that you can do manifold pressure, and 2550. Just pull them back just a little bit. You can, I think the book said, I remember reading it, the book said something about 30 inches of manifold pressure and like 23 on the RPM, but that's too slow for me. I don't mind to push them a little harder since it's a simulator. In the real world, I'd fly to what the book says, but yes. Once you get 1,000 feet above the ground, that's when you'll pull it back. And then once you get to cruise, you'll pull it further back. Yep, it is just you and I too. Everybody's gone. It's too late for them. They're all East Coast boys. About a minute and a half. We'll start our descent down. Sim gas is free, so I don't mind using the extra gas. You know, the cylinder head temperatures are pretty low. I could probably pull them back even further. Get even less fuel burn. Message here soon. Start our descent on down to Nashville. I did get the free scenery for the airport, so we'll see how well it looks to real life. Yeah, I plan for 500 feet per minute. So if you are flying online, if you're not on an IFR flight plane and you're flying VFR, you can request, say, you know, I'd like to do a VFR descent, and they'll tell you just maintain VFR, which is fine. So that's usually how we go in the real world as well. They'll just tell you to maintain VFR. Alright, here we go. Let's go ahead and start our descent down. So yes. We'll go down. Feet per minute, and then we'll just pull the manifold pressure back just to try and match that speed with whatever we were doing. So we'll pull it back to about 32. See what that does. Yeah, I set the descent first, and then as I descend, then I pull the manifold pressure back to try and match the speed that I was currently doing. which we're still going a little bit faster. So we're doing about 204 true airspeed, so I'll pull it back to 31 and see what that does as far as my speeds. That way I keep the speeds all the exact same. So descent checklist, pressurization is set. Don't need any lights at this point. And we've begun our descent into Nashville. We're doing 500 feet per minute. Don't need any gear. Altitude pre-selector set at 2000 to level off. Pattern altitude is 1600. So once we get about 15 nautical miles out, we'll go ahead and do our first GUMS check. Then when we get 10 out, we'll do our next GUMS check. 5 out GUMS check. Entering the pattern GUMS check. And then short final GUMS check. Still going pretty quick, so I'll pull it back to about 30. That's right about the 200 airspeed, or true airspeed that we were getting, so it's good. Oh, gotcha. So yeah, so I just tried to something about reducing manifold pressure by 1 per minute for descent. Yeah, so as you descend, in the real world, your manifold pressure will climb as you get closer to the Earth on your descent. So you have to watch your manifold pressure, because I don't know if it simulates that, but you know, as in the real world, you'll start slowly reducing your manifold pressure because it'll start to climb as you start your descent on down. So yeah, that's to avoid shock cooling. Yeah, you just don't want to shock cool, and basically you just don't want to pull back the throttles all the way back to, you know, 20 inches of manifold pressure and just descend at like 800 feet. GUMS, yeah, so GUMS check is just a little acronym that you use for before landing. So you'll do it at 15, 10, 5, and then whenever you enter the actual traffic pattern. And so GUMS stands for gas. So you check your gas, make sure that you're on the right tanks, you're on the fullest tanks. Undercarriage, make sure that your gear, if it gear is down. And then you've got your mixture, make sure your mixture's set. And then you've got P, stands for props and pumps. Make sure you got your boost pumps on, and make sure that the props are full forward, or you know, whatever you need your propellers to be set at. And then you've got S is for switches and seatbelts. So that way you just go through your GUMS check, and that'll make sure that you go through everything that you need to make sure is properly secured and properly ready for landing. In this case, you would add, when you do the P, you do the props and pumps, and you do pressurization, which I can already tell we didn't go all the way up, so pressurization is not going to be a factor. You don't need technically pressurization until you get above 12,500 feet, so. So we'll just go ahead and check on our vertical descent, make sure that we're maintaining that. So right now, our VS required descent to target would be 470 feet per minute to be at 1,600 feet AGL. So we're doing well on our descent. Yeah, you'd still get that even with the wastegate in the turbo, because the airplane that we fly is it's called an Piper Aztec, and it's a turbo. We still have the same issues. The manifold pressure will slowly start to creep up as you descend. Message. So message. Oh, so we'll go ahead and go back to utilities and turn off the display messages because I'll keep up with it. I won't forget. Yeah, even with the wastegate in a turbo, it'll still increase manifold pressure as you descend down through whatever it is that you're going. So now we've started to lose a little bit of speed. We're back down to 193, so we'll just go ahead and increase it back up to about 31. See what that does. See if that brings our true airspeed back to around 200 knots. And we've got about 50 nautical miles to go. Kind of start to see it out there in the distance. I'll be doing this exact flight on Wednesday. Go pick up my boss. He's there now. Go ahead and set our pattern altitude, which is 1600, so we'll set that there. That might not happen below critical altitude with a turbo. I don't think it will. I mean, I've only flown a Piper Aztec, which it is a turbo piston engine. It's twin engine, and we still have to reduce manifold pressure as we descend. So it might not be that way for all of them, but one that we've been flying does. octane, 440, so we're good there. Yeah, it hasn't moved. It's the manifold pressure has stayed the same since I've started to go down, so I don't think that that's real true to life, but that's all right. I mean, that's minor stuff. So it's still saying that we'll have plenty of fuel when we land, so that's always good. Now I can actually plan on being able to use 40 gallons and get the, not just taking a bunch of extra gas whenever we go on a trip. You don't ever dump the pressurization. Dumping the pressurization would be in case of an emergency, that you would never ever need to depressurize the cabin quickly. Try to get a good simulator for you. Yeah, that's the whole point of me doing this, is staying on top of my game when I go fly. But something like the manifold pressure rising, that just goes through, you'll see that whenever you're just going through your scan and doing your scan of different instruments, make sure things are running the way they're supposed to. So that wouldn't be something that I would forget. Once we get the airport in sight, we'll turn off the autopilot and fly her by hand. And we're coming up on 26 nautical miles away. Once we get 15 out, we'll do our first GUMPS check. On the first GUMPS check, gas will be on the main, we're already on the main tanks. We don't need to turn any cross feed on. Undercarriage, we won't need to put our gear down yet, too far away. Mixtures, they'll be fine where they're at. Props, we'll leave them alone. Boost pumps will come on, and we'll go ahead and turn our landing light on. The pressurization slide and switch would stay on pressurized even after landing and before takeoff. Yes. Yep, because as of right now, the cabin pressurized. The cabin is pressurized to is the same as what it is on the ground. That's why you set it to sea level whenever you just start your descent. So you set what you're going to be going up to, so that way the cabin will start to pressurize as you start to climb. And once you get up to your descent, the cabin is already pressurized. It's going to hold that pressurization unless you have a leak. And that's when you'll start to notice the gauges are starting to go down. But if you don't have a leak, then it's going to stay pressurized until you start your descent down, and it will slowly, start letting some of the outside air in as it starts to, the pressure around the outside of the airplane starts to even out. It'll even itself out. So you don't ever, so the time that you would want to depressurize the airplane is if you have a slow leak. and then you would have you and your passengers put on your oxygen masks. And once your oxygen masks are on, then you would depressurize the plane, so that way it's not trying to waste the oxygen that you're breathing in by trying to pressurize the plane. So that's when you would want to depressurize. You can see it out there, but I can see downtown from my screen, but I know that the brightness on YouTube doesn't, or whenever I stream, it doesn't match up currently with what I got, but I can see it on my screen. Coming up on 3,200 feet. See any antennas or anything like that. I do know that the last time I flew in here, and there's TV towers and stuff everywhere around here. You got to pay attention. You can see one of them out there to the right. There's a couple big towers out here. Cabin door press system is the leak when you were on the ground. Yeah. Yep. That leaks it all out. So, but right now the cabin pressure inside of my cabin is the same as whatever altitude I'm at, because technically you don't need any kind of pressurization until you get above 12,500 feet in the atmosphere. So you can breathe and it doesn't hurt anything when you're up that high. Or it's thinner, but it doesn't change your body functions and the way you feel, and as far as oxygen, being able to breathe. Yeah, let the airplane, definitely let the airplane control it. So we're going to go ahead and level off here. And we'll hit the altitude. And we'll slowly go down to 2,500. 2,500, 13 nautical miles out, so gas will do the first GUMPS check. Can on your right monitor. So gas, undercarriage, will turn the boost pumps up to on. Undercarriage we're good, props are good, mixtures are good. Boost pumps are on. We'll go ahead and turn the landing light on. Seatbelts are fastened. And first GUMPS check is good. Got the airport inside out in front of us. Hypoxia, baby. Yeah, buddy. It's exactly what we want to do. Because you got to get high, you know what I'm saying? Nautical miles out, so we'll go ahead and do our next GUMPS check, which is gas. We're on the fullest tanks. Undercarriage, we don't need it yet. Mixtures, we'll go ahead and go full rich. Props, we don't need to do anything with the props yet. Pressurization, we're good. Pumps are already on. Seatbelts, we're good. And switches, we're good. Oh, the TV tower on my right monitor. Yeah, that sucker is huge. I don't know where it went, but yeah, right behind me. Yeah, that there's some big ones that's out there. I know that. Nice look at downtown Nashville. disconnect the autopilot. And we'll start slowing this baby down, so we'll pull it back to about 26. And we'll slowly start kind of descending down a little bit. And we'll go ahead and start our turn out to the right. Start our enter the downwind. Go ahead and go first notch of flaps. And we're stabilized. We'll go ahead and go gear down. We're within the limits. And we'll pull us back to about 2200 RPM, or 22. And we'll go gas, undercarriage, mixture, props. We'll go props full forward. Landing lights are on. Seatbelts are good. And we're going to go ahead and switch over to CDI. So we've got the ILS set up inside of there, so that way we know about where we need to be. And we'll let it, go ahead and start letting her come down a little bit. Props full forward. Got 3 green, so we'll go ahead and start our turn inbound. And we'll go ahead and turn yaw dampener off. And we're a little high, so we'll go ahead and slow her on down. Pull us back to about 16. Start our turn inbound, and we'll add in our next notch of flaps. And we've got runway in sight. And we'll go ahead and go gas, undercarriage, we're good, 3 green, mixture, we're full rich, props full forward. Speeds are looking good, about 110, 109 on approach. We're on the glide slope, below. And we'll go ahead and turn off flight director, we don't need that. Apply the needles. Yes, I just use it to help get lined up with the runway and help me be able to, you know, shoot an actual good approach. Since most of the time we usually fly IFR, so course line isn't quite set up. Now, if I was in the real world, I'd go through the procedures of doing everything. So short final, I'm going to do flaps, full flaps, and we'll go ahead and pull us back to about 1500 RPM, slowly pulling her back. Down into here, into the flare, and throttles to idle, and hold her off. And there we go, touchdown. Oh, a little squirrely. And we can go ahead and go flaps up. runway. Welcome to Nashville. We're right here on Echo. You get across the threshold here. We'll come to a stop. And so we'll go cowl flaps are open. Go landing light off. Taxi lights on. And we go and turn off the boost pumps. And flaps are up. And pressurization is good, so we're good there. So alright, I'm gonna turn off prop sync. I should have done that on. Alright, so we're good to taxi. Normally we request taxi, but we're good. I know where we're going anyway. Go right up here to the right. This red barn that there is over here that we're going to go to, in the real world, they're actually demolishing it right now. Like half of it is gone. It's kind of funny. So straight out ahead is where the Airlines park. That's the airline terminal. And these brakes are touchy. Are your brakes touchy? Love the stutter? Yeah, no joke, right? As soon as you get literally on the ground, you immediately just lose frames immediately. It sucks. We'll go over here. And this would be Atlantic Aviation. This little red building over here. Back up here with these CJ4s. This will work. So, parking brake on. Turn off our taxi lights. And we'll go ahead and turn off our mags. Full mixture back. Turn off avionics, and we'll leave it there. So, well, hey, thanks for joining along, buddy. Appreciate it. If you ever have any questions or anything like that, always ask. I don't know it all, but I can try and find you or point you in the right direction. So, thanks for joining, guys. We appreciate it, and we will see you guys on the next stream. Take care.